Hi, my name is Amira and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with an updated brow routine video. It has been so long since I have done a brow tutorial. That was well before I had my brows tattooed, I think, and I really haven't done much in the way of brow tutorials since then. I did about a year ago show you guys how to use the 3 different brow kits that Benfit came out with, and you really love those videos. So today I wanted to show you my actual favorite go-to brow routine with all Benfit products. You guys are always giving me so many compliments on my brows, which is why I wanted to come at you guys with a tutorial today on exactly kind of what I'm doing. I do include it sometimes in my Instagram videos, but usually I cut it out because it's pretty much this routine, give or take, all the time. So without anything else to blabber on about, let's jump into the tutorial. So I'll start with a Q-tip with some makeup remover on there and just go through and take out any of the foundation, concealer, powder, highlighter, any of the miscellaneous makeup that really builds up in the brows, because I am not super careful when applying the rest of my makeup. Now, I always want to brush my brows through very thoroughly. Even if you haven't over plucked or anything, sometimes just your natural hair cycle, you'll find you have gaps that you don't normally have. And I always like to brush up and out because I like the really full fluffy brow. And already you can see they're looking so much better. Brows are sisters, not twins. This one definitely has more of an arch than this one, but I kind of try and even them out as much as I can. But this brow, like this side of my face, just naturally sits a little bit lower. There's only so much you can do. No one's completely symmetrical, it's okay. So since my brows have been tattooed quite a while ago, they're mostly faded. I mean, they're not too bad, but overall they are super warm toned, especially in natural lighting. So I try and go for more cool tone products when filling them in. So in Benefit's line, you have 1, 3, and 5. So your odd numbers, they are all cool toned. And then you have 2, 4, 6, which are all your warm tone shades. So this is the Browvo conditioning primer. I am on and off using this. If I forget to use it, it's not the worst case scenario. And I do find that I have a better brow day when I use it. So it's not like I can't do my brows without it, but whenever I do use it, I do find that my brows are just like, yeah, it's when I have my good brow days. So now for actually filling them in, I love to use a combination of 2 different pencils. Now in different Facebook beauty groups, I always hear people debating over these 2 pencils. So this one is the Goof Proof pencil and this one is precisely my brow pencil. And everyone's always saying, you know, Goof Proof is better because you have more product in it, but they are completely different and they give completely different results. So the Goof Proof pencil is, oh, wrong side. This side has your big fat kind of fancy shape. I guess it's kind of like a fancy diamond shape, so it's super thick. And this is for really filling in like the bulk of your brow really quickly. When it's brand new, it has like a nice little point on one side, so you can get a bit more precision, but after, you know, you've used it like once or twice, that kind of, you know, dulls down, and it's just like to really kind of quickly fill in the brow. Now with the Precisely My Brow pencil, it is exactly as the name would suggest, super precise. So it's just like a tiny little tip and you can get your little hair strokes in there. So yeah, this one is going to mimic your hair strokes and give you that really precise look, whereas the Goof Proof pencil is just going to really quickly fill in the brows. This is designed more for your beginners or people who have like lots of sparsity throughout their brows. You can just kind of really fill in the bulk super quick with one. So I always start with Goof Proof, and I've been using shade 1 lately. I used to use shade 2 and 3, but I started using 1 at the last Benefit event I was at. We got heaps more different shades, so I've been playing around with all the different shades and creating kind of different contrasts and everything. So I've been going with 1 first, and I use the spoolie on one side, brush it through, and I just kind of fill in the entire bulk of the brow with shade 1, and it kind of neutralizes the warmth in certain areas from my old brow tattoo. So that really quickly fills in my brows, and for an everyday kind of look, I can just go in now with my brow gel. But what I really like to do for Instagram and for when I'm going out and everything like that is to add in a little bit more dimension. So that's when I take the Precisely My Brow pencil. Now I just used to use this one only when my brow tattoo was fresher, just to kind of add in like a few extra hair strokes when they started to fade out. But now that I need more, that's when I go in with the Goof Proof. But if you already have, you know, pretty good brows, then you can just go straight in with Precisely My Brow Pencil. So this one is in shade number 3. So this is really going to give a little bit more depth throughout the arch and the tail of my brow, and just a few more individual hair strokes throughout the whole entire bulk of my eyebrows. And with this pencil, I like to just do little tiny strokes just to mimic individual hairs. And I start on the bottom of my brow, work through the arch, and then a few up through the front. And if you look at them one by one, you can see this one just has a little bit more depth, a little bit more definition, because you can add that in certain areas, whereas this one's just a bit more basic, completely fine for every day, but I really like the dimensions in this brow. So that's them just all filled in. Now, if you've used something like the Brow, which is a brow gel, pomade type deal, that's going to really kind of hold them in place a little bit, but my brow hairs are long and I've used pencils, so I really need to set them in place or they're going to go all over the place, especially like when I have my hair out and they kind of push on the brows, they're going to push them all down. So I always need to set them in place. Now that always changes up. I'm always using different products. What I'm really loving at the moment is the 3D brow tones in the shade 4. Now I used to use 3D brow tones in the shade 2, so it was lighter and it gave golden highlights, and it's designed for more brunettes to add those light highlights. And 4 is what I should have been using. As a blonde, you want to add in like a couple low lights, but I was always really paranoid about having my brows too dark. I find that now that I've got more of my natural hair color coming through, I can get away with my brows being a little bit darker, and it just ties in the whole look and just really seems to complement my face the best. As a beauty blogger type influencer, I'm always trying different products. I'm always going through different phases and trying to show different things on camera as well. But yeah, this is my go-to at the moment. And I just like to work it in backwards and forwards and then up through the brow as well. You can see it doesn't make them too crazy dark or anything, but it does still give a little bit of dimension, and it's going to set them in place as well. Now that's pretty much my go-to brow. I like that more kind of full fluffy bit. So like I've got my natural brow hairs kind of coming up over the edges and all of that. So I would never be able to go in and really like carve out the brows with concealer or anything like that. Sometimes underneath I might go in with a little bit of something. Usually it's not even product, like sometimes it's just a clean brush and I'll just like, you know, tone down. Like sometimes here I might just want to slightly sharpen it up a little bit or something like that. Most often though, I will just go in with a brow highlight. This is Dandelion Twinkle. I'm just going in with an angle brush. I'm just going to kind of, put this just through the arch of the brow just to lift it and clean up any kind of little mistakes. So that is my finished brow routine. I'm always changing it up. I'm always playing around with new products, but this is always what I'm coming back to. As I said, maybe changing the gel out a little bit here and there. That's just my current kind of go-to, but with Precisely My Brow Pencil and Goof Proof, that's just really what I'm kind of always going for, always have just the best results for me every single time. I hope you liked my brow tutorial. It's very different to what you kind of see a lot floating around. I went through one phase of having the really like cut ombre brows and the Instagram style and everything, but that just isn't me. I really like the more full, fluffy, textured brow that still, while it's bold, has a level of softness to it because the edges aren't super cut and you can still see texture of actual brow hairs in the brow. If that's not your style, that's totally okay. The best thing about makeup is it washes off at the end of the day and you can always try something else out. I often like to play around with the actual shape of my brows and create them to be a bit more arched. Quite often I like to make them a bit straighter as well. It's just so fun, and you can just change up all of your different looks. I like to try out different colors in my brows because they give such different effects, and going really light with the brow pencils and really dark with the actual brow gels, or vice versa. You can really come up with so many different things. If you want to see me do an entire breakdown on the whole range of the Benefit brow products, please give this video a thumbs up and let me know below, and I will get that sorted ASAP for you all. But yes, that is that. I'm going to stop now because I could talk forever about my brows, and I really could. So if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any more videos, and we will see you all next time. Bye guys.